Hey guys, Aaron Dorr here with Iowa Gun Owners. If you're a gun voter in House District 87, we're talking about Mount Pleasant, Fairfield, Keosauqua, Farmington, this section of southeast Iowa, take a few moments and watch this video as we break down where Jeff Shipley and Thomas O'Donnell stand on your gun rights. Guys, the election's coming up fast. Everyone knows that. And we also know that we have a nominee now in Kamala Harris who is the most insane leftist that we frankly have ever seen in this country this high up the ticket. And Kamala Harris's desire to destroy the Second Amendment in this country is giving momentum to down ballot candidates like Thomas O'Donnell, as you're about to find out. For the first time in the history of Iowa politics, we have Democrats who are openly talking about the kind of gun control agenda items that frankly we only ever heard about in blue states like California or New York in the past. So the stakes, frankly, when it comes to our gun rights, could not be higher. In this video, we're going to start with Jeff Shipley. He's the incumbent in the race. Jeff Shipley's been in office since 2018. And in that time, Jeff has become a leader in the fight for gun rights in Des Moines. And a lot of people here in Iowa already know that. Jeff Shipley was the lead sponsor on constitutional carry. A different bill number is what became law a couple years ago. But Jeff led the fight to get rid of the required permit for law-abiding gun owners here in Iowa. Right now, this past session, Jeff Shipley was the lead sponsor of our Second Amendment Preservation Act. We call it SAPA law for short. Iowa's got good gun laws. IGO members have made sure of that. The problem is an out-of-control president, whether it's Joe Biden currently or, God forbid, Kamala Harris later on, can use the power of the federal government to order Iowa cops to enforce federal gun control laws. SAPA puts a stop to all that. Jeff Shipley agrees. He's been the lead sponsor on that bill. And let me tell you, it is not always easy to be the lead sponsor of a gun bill here in Des Moines. You get a lot of arrows in the back and the chest when you do that, and Jeff certainly has the battle scars to prove that. He's also the lead sponsor of our bill to enhance Iowa's Stand Your Ground law. And we've got Stand Your Ground law. We all passed that in 2017. The problem is that our version of Stand Your Ground law is not sufficient for the times that we live in today. Right now in Iowa, if you use your firearm in a self-defense situation, in the eyes of the law, you're guilty. And you then have to fund your own legal defense. In other states, in dozens of other states, the law assumes that we're innocent. And that it's the state's job to prove our guilt. It may seem to be a small distinction, but it's not, and a lot of your freedom hangs on that distinction. So Jeff is the lead sponsor of that bill as well. He just signed his survey, 100% pro-gun. You can see Jeff's survey on our website right now. Jeff Shipley, 100% pro-gun, and a 6-year record to back that up here in Des Moines. That brings up Thomas O'Donnell. Thomas is an outsider. Normally that's a compliment. In this case, he has no political office he's held before, but he has been a longtime reporter with the Des Moines Register and the Iowa Capitol Dispatch. And so if you spend a few minutes Googling this guy's name and his articles, especially on the Capitol Dispatch, you will see that Thomas O'Donnell is about as crazy left as they come here in Iowa. Thomas O'Donnell's agenda is extremely far left. And when it comes to gun control here in Iowa, as a supporter of Kamala Harris and as a Democrat nominee, that means that Thomas O'Donnell backs the Iowa House Democrat Party platform. And if you haven't done so, I encourage you, take a few moments and Google the Iowa Democratic Party platform. And you'll see a gun control agenda that will make you disgusted. Because what Thomas O'Donnell and House Democrats want to do, number one, is repeal Iowa's Stand Your Ground law. They want to go back to the days where if you drew your firearm, let alone used your firearm here in Iowa, if you were in a blue county, you'd be charged with a crime. It happened before. It's happened many times before. And we fixed that in 2017. Thomas O'Donnell, House Democrats want to repeal Stand Your Ground law. They also want to repeal Iowa's constitutional carry law. Now, we all fought for that, as you guys know, for over a decade. The idea that Iowans who are law-abiding don't have to get a permission slip from the government to carry a firearm. 26 states now have constitutional carry. Thomas O'Donnell wants to repeal that and go back to the days where sheriffs could use their discretion to deny your permit arbitrarily. That's crazy. He also wants to repeal the right to keep and bear arms amendment, the Freedom Amendment, which, as you guys all know, we passed in the Iowa Constitution 2 years ago. The reason behind that is O'Donnell knows that they can't sue, they can't file cases against our gun rights in federal court with those strict scrutiny protections in the state constitution. So by repealing this amendment, they hope to take a chance to weaken our gun rights with future court actions. And from there, that's just what they want to repeal. What they want to pass, and what O'Donnell fully supports, is the kitchen sink. Red flag gun seizures, which of course allows anybody to say you're dangerous and gives the court a chance to order the seizure of your firearms before you've ever even been charged with a crime. That's on their list. So is an AR-15 ban. They want to ban the most common rifle in Iowa, the most common rifle in America, and we all know why, because tyrants don't like an armed population. That's what an AR-15 represents. It represents freedom in the hands of the citizenry. They all hate that. Wonder why. And finally, they want a statewide gun registry. They want every gun owner to get a permit from the state to buy a firearm. Not just handguns, not just AR-15s, every single firearm. Like I said, in the past, we'd only see stuff like this in blue states. And now what we have are Democrat candidates in rural Iowa talking about junk like this. So guys, this is a very sharp distinction between Thomas O'Donnell and Jeff Shipley. In the past, we have had Democrats here in Iowa who quite often would vote for expanding our gun rights. We had Democrats that voted for stand your ground law. We had Democrats that voted for constitutional carry. And guys, that wasn't that many years ago. But things are changing very, very quickly in this country thanks to Kamala Harris and down ballot candidates who support her entire gun control agenda. So guys, if you see Thomas O'Donnell, I'd ask this guy, how crazy must you be to back this kind of a gun control agenda? Ask him to apologize for even thinking about supporting gun control here in the Iowa General Assembly. And if you see Jeff Shipley, be sure and thank this guy for not just talking pro-gun and not even just voting pro-gun, but leading in the fight for gun rights here in Iowa by sponsoring gun bill after gun bill after gun bill. Guys, do me a favor, share the video all over on social media. Do not forget, Election Day, November 5, but also early voting begins on October 16. Guys, get out there, educate your friends, and go vote pro-gun.